everyone, it's your friend Think Noodles, and welcome to Ask Think episode number 124 for Monday, October 20th, 2014. And let's just get started right into it. So, and actually next week is Halloween, so we have sort of a Halloween themed question for you guys at the end of this part, but let's get to your answers to my question from last week, which was, other than Minecraft, what's your favorite video game? And Eleanor Sachs says, my favorite video game is Garry's Mod. And this was really surprising to me because Garry's Mod is fairly popular, and she was really the only one I saw in all of the comments that put that. Then quite a few people actually, loved Five Nights at Freddy's, which is a horror jump scare type of game. Although it's only for PC and tablets, so I can't really try it myself unless I try it on a tablet. Hyperactive Baconator said their favorite game was Mortal Kombat, which I thought really cool because I can remember playing the original Mortal Kombat, and I had a Super Nintendo. Was it? Yeah, that was a Super Nintendo at the time. I think that was the most recent system. And my neighbor had a Sega Genesis. Was it a Genesis? I think Genesis was the second Sega. And he had Mortal Kombat, and it wasn't out on Nintendo. And I was always at his house, and we were always trying to do those finishing moves and stuff. It was so cool. I mean, the graphics were terrible compared to the arcade. But I really, really loved that game back then. A bunch of people predictably said Pokemon, and not Pixelmon, but Pokemon. And most people said Pokemon X and Y were their favorites specifically. Water Fan Club loves WWE 2014 because you can create characters and have them fight and create stories and all kinds of stuff like that. Realcraft said Guitar Hero, and I remember when that game came out the first time and people were going crazy for it because it was a unique input method for a console. You know, nobody had really done that before, and so many people. I was terrible at it. And Sonic Master said Sonic Adventure 2. And, I really didn't play many Sonics past the original one, but that one was awesome. A bunch of people said Spore, and I hope that you guys got into it because that I introduced you to it. I know to some of you I did. So I hope I was able to introduce you to a cool game that you like. A bunch of people said Call of Duty, and that used to be my favorite game also. I used to love it. I think out of all the Call of Duties, my favorite one is Black Ops, the original Black Ops, not Black Ops 2. Only because I was really good at it. For some reason, that one I was really good at. The other CODs I'm really not so great at, but for some reason, Black Ops 2, probably I played it a lot and I learned the maps and I knew really good points where I could snipe people, but I didn't use a sniper rifle. I always use assault rifles. But anyway, Landon T said Resident Evil 4 and 6 are his favorite versions of Resident Evil. And wow, I remember Resident Evil when that came out, the first one again. And this was so cool to read this. And, you guys are saying Call of Duty Black Ops 2. And I remember when Call of Duty 4 came out. So I really, it's nostalgic for me. A bunch of people said The Sims and, Sims 3, Sims 4. I saw some news that Sims 4, they are talking about a Mac version. So it's on the way. Maybe I'll be able to play that one day. A couple of people said Disney Infinity, and that game looks pretty awesome. I've seen some of it, and it looks really cool. Terraria was a popular choice as well, and it's a game I've never played. So only one person said Halo, and I thought that was really unusual because Halo's a pretty popular game too. Now, a few people said Clash of Clans. I actually expected that to be one of the most popular choices, but there were quite a few of you that said that. Then Legend of Zelda was really popular, and I love the Legend of Zelda series. And again, I remember the original, and that's one of my favorite games of all time. Not my, I guess it's not my number one favorite, but it's way, way up there. A few people said Mario Kart, and I expected more because Mario Kart 8 is supposed to be really good, and it's fairly new, but, quite a few people said it. Now, a bunch of people said Skylanders because the Trap Team just came out. And then it's almost a tie between this one and the next one. So Club Penguin was really, really popular, but expected again, because that's one of the things, one of the other games that I play on my on my other channel, but I play every week. And then Super Smash Brothers was really popular, and I was like, what? Why? Like, not that it's a bad game, just odd that it was so popular. And then I found out that the 3DS version just came out, so people are really excited about that. So that's why. And then Bella Swan, only person that said Free Realms, and wow, nostalgia. I remember I played Free Realms when it first started, like first day, and it was really fun. I met a lot of people playing the game in game, and it was really, really fun at the start, exciting, exploring the world and finding little places you can jump sort of out of the bounds and climb up on top of mountains and get awesome views. It was really, really fun. But, as as a player, it did go downhill pretty quickly. LPS Friends Forever said, what? There are other games besides Minecraft? I did not know this. My brain was taken over by Minecraft Aliens when I was little. Now, no one really said anything in the genre or the series of, I guess I have to say, it's really hard for me to say what my favorite game I've ever played was. But if I have to think back, the one that gives me the most nostalgia, I guess, and maybe it's because of how old I was, or the graphics at the time, or the storyline. It was Final Fantasy VII, and I didn't see a single person mention Final Fantasy, which I think times have changed quite a bit. And truthfully, I've tried the new Final Fantasies, and they just don't do it for me like they used to. And I don't know if that's because the games have changed, or because I've changed, or the gaming industry has changed. I don't know, but I'd have to say that Final Fantasy VII was really, really one of my most favorite games of all time. Now for next week's question, and I know it's a little bit early, but I wanted to be able to feature this in next week's Ask Think before Halloween. So Melanie Fry has got it, and it's for next week's question. Please ask what your subs are going to be for Halloween. And I just wanted to do that before so that you guys can hear what everybody else is being before Halloween and not the Monday after. Okay, guys, now on to the questions from me. Now, before we get to the questions, I want to remind you to leave your questions for me in the comments below so I have something to answer next week. Remember, only one question per comment, but you can leave as many comments as you like. Also, if the comments on this episode of Ask Think are closed, go to the most recent Ask Think and ask your question there. All right, guys, the first one is a pretty important one from Sandra, and it's, so your computer broke, what happened? Yes, if you follow me on Twitter, you would know that, and if you don't, I'll tell you now. The reason there wasn't a Spore episode yesterday, and there almost wasn't a Noodle Planet episode, my hard drive failed in my iMac, and I have the SSD. These things never fail, but it is completely gone. I've gone through all the steps, got into single user mode, tried command line commands, everything. The drive is gone. It's still, I guess, quote unquote, running. Won't boot from it at all. Tried everything. I mean, there are a few disk repair programs third-party disk repair programs that I didn't buy to try out. But at the time I was trying to fix it, I couldn't even boot the computer anyway. But I'm not going to go and spend money on something that might fix it. But if there's actually a real physical problem with the drive, since I can't even format it, I tried just formatting it. It won't even format. I can't erase it. It's just dead. I figured it's still under warranty and I can take it to Apple and get it fixed. But it might take a couple of days. So I have an external hard drive, RAID array. It's got 4 disks in it. And I used one of those to install the operating system on, and I booted from that. So that's what I'm doing right now. It's a lot slower than my SSD, but it's going to work for the rest of the week. And at the end of the week, I'm going to take this thing in and hopefully get it fixed. Well, no, they will fix it. So yeah, the computer still runs. It's just the hard drive inside it doesn't quite work. So very, very frustrating. Very, very frustrating day yesterday. 1999 Blue asks, did you install OS X Yosemite? And, that was the first question that they asked me at Apple when I called them up. And no, I usually don't install the new operating system updates for about 6 months after they come out. I really want to install Yosemite, but I just want to make sure everything that I use every day is compatible with it, and I usually wait a long time to do so. Ruby Finky says, hey Fink, since you play Pop Tropico, what did you put as your age? I remember that when I was signing up, and I think the maximum was like 13. I think they don't even let you do 13 plus. So I selected whatever the oldest one was. Smiley Freak asks, do you answer the questions that are replied to your first comment? Of course. It doesn't matter where you put your comment, whether you reply to my comment that's, the upload comment, or if you put your own comment, I always look at all of them. Sydney02 asks, what is your opinion on bullying? Well, I think there's a place for it in... I'm kidding. I think I share the same opinion on bullying as anyone who isn't a bully, which is most of us. There's no place for bullying. Unfortunately, it does exist, and people do have to put up with it. And probably if you're asking, you're probably putting up with it yourself, and that really stinks. I was subjected to my fair share of bullying when I was younger as well, and it's a sad thing, but it is almost kind of part of growing up. Hallie the Great asks, think my question is, did you jailbreak your iPhone or iPad or any iDevice? Haven't in a long time. I think the last time I jailbroke one, it was way back on like my iPhone 3G or 3GS. And that was just because, the operating system iOS was much more closed. Maybe I even did it on my original iPhone. No, I didn't do it on my original iPhone. But, there were certain things that I wanted, or I thought I wanted, and then it turned out I really didn't that much. But and it crashed a lot. But I was just bored, I guess. And I did jailbreak, I think my iPhone 3G and maybe my 3GS. But after that, I had no interest anymore. Real Gaming X says, I remember you said a long time ago you hate the sound of your voice. Do you still hate it, or have you gotten used to it? You know what? I've gotten used to it. When I hear it, it doesn't bother me anymore like it used to. Unless when I fixed my computer, sort of, it had the wrong setting for my voice because I use a little bit of compression on my voice, and my voice sounded really like, what was it? It just sounded, I don't know. It just sounded like boxy or something, and a little bit disconnected. So when I hear that, that bothers me. But hearing my voice normally, not anymore. It's funny though. My wife, when she did when I showed her the video for Things Lab, and she listened to herself back, and she's like, "Oh, I sound like She said something like, I sound like a little girl with a cold." She hates her own voice because she hasn't heard it enough. Harvey Paxton says, hey, my question is, did you have any high school crushes when you were a boy? Of course. I mean, I was not a super popular kid, and there were super popular people in my school that, didn't even know I existed. So of course, I looked up at them with sparkles in my eyes, like, oh, she's so pretty. But yeah, I did. Malia Krikorian says, hey, I was wondering, I looked at your schedule and you do Pixelmon and Crazy Craft on Tuesdays, but only Crazy Craft on Friday. If you do Pixelmon on Fridays, you would get more progress. And that is true. I would. But there's just not enough time in my day to do Pixelmon as well. I mean, you guys, when I give you guys a Pixelmon video, it's between 20 and 30 minutes. But in general, a Pixelmon video takes it's about an hour and a half to 2 hours of recording. Once all is said and done, and then I'd cut out the boring parts. So, and then the editing for Pixelmon takes a long time as well because of the music and stuff. So, a Pixelmon video, 20 to 30 minute Pixelmon video is probably about 3 or 4 hours of work, and I just don't have the time on Fridays. 1999 Blue asks, what did you think of the new iPad Air 2 and the iPad Mini 3? I sold it's kind of like a trade-in place, Gazelle. My iPad 2 and my iPad Mini are going to Gazelle. I sold them or whatever, or traded them in, and ordered an iPad Air 2. William Crogsdale says, hey, do you like paleontology, marine biology? And if so, what do you think about them? Or what about them do you like? Well, I love paleontology. because I mean dinosaurs are cool, and finding something, and I think of, see, the thing about it is though, I think of paleontology as being in the field, and I think that's a really cool part about it. You know, maybe being back in a museum or something. I mean, I guess if they brought in some samples and you get to clean the bones and things like that, that's pretty cool. But if you're in some museum and, you know, you just keep an eye on the bones, on the skeletons and stuff, I mean, not as fun. But discovering things is really cool. Marine biology, well, I've been a scuba diver for most of my life. 25 years I've been a scuba diver, and I always loved the ocean. So marine biology, I love marine animals. Nut and TNT Brennan says, hey, Fink, I was wondering if you could maybe open a little more explicit channel. I'm 18, I enjoy watching you, but you should be able to open up a little more. Nah, people have asked this before, and what'll happen is people will follow to that channel. Most of my subscriber base, I'd say probably 90% or more, are younger. And if I were to create an explicit channel and even put controls on it, inevitably they will subscribe there too to watch me, and, you know, just click that they're over a certain age, and then they'll get in trouble for watching me with their parents and things like that. And honestly, you know, it's not really my personality to be vulgar or swear. I mean, I do, I guess, in real life sometimes, but not as much, not really a whole lot compared to other adults. EVMC asked, do you put milk on your cereal or cereal on your milk? Well, I think it would be really weird. I've never seen this done. Someone pour milk in the bowl and then put the cereal on top. I just never seen that before. But, you know, I just put the cereal in the bowl and then just pour the milk right in the middle. I don't really care where it goes. But my wife is very, very careful because she I guess, almost puts cereal on her milk, because she puts the cereal in first and then she pours the milk right on the side of the bowl so it goes underneath and doesn't touch the stuff on top. Sir Stir Plays MCS, have you ever bungee jumped? No, but I've always wanted to. And but then I watched this Mythbusters where they were doing this bungee jumping thing where they're trying to bob for apples with by bungee jumping into water, and they said it was really like the most uncomfortable thing they've ever done in their life. So I'm kind of second guessing it. Jonathan Davies says, other than sport, do you consider playing different games? As kind of seen, the most popular channels play loads of games. Well, I mean, of course I would consider playing other games, but not for that reason. Not to be popular, not because the game is popular, but because the game interests me and it looks fun to me, then I'll play it. I'm not going to play, and I try my best not to do what everybody else is doing. And unless it's a fun game, it looks really fun, and I think I'll have fun playing it, then I'll play it. But I'm not going to play it to be popular like other people. Miss Poison Grape asks, have you ever been in a play? If so, what play? If not, what play would you want to be in? Wow, 12. I was in a couple of them. I was in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and I honestly cannot remember what my role was. But it was one of those roles that like really isn't in the play or the movie, but you know, you give it to the kids who can't act. That was me. And I was also in another play called Momo and the Time Thieves, and I was a time thief. Again, something that probably wasn't in the original script, but hey, they gave me a part. Ninavo asks, do you like the Lego Company? I'm like so obsessed about it. I do, and I'm looking forward to trying out the Minecraft sets. They look awesome in the pictures I've seen. And they opened a new Lego store. I mean, there's one in Rockefeller Center, but I saw that they'd opened a new Lego store here in New York. Fire Penguins CP asks, do you know a really good video editor? I need an editor so I can edit my Xbox 360 videos. ScreenFlow only edits screen recording videos. Well, I mean, ScreenFlow is it's a basic editor, and it's okay. If you want a really good video editor, you're gonna want to get something like Premiere Pro from Adobe, or Final Cut Pro from Apple, or I think Sony Vegas is another thing that people use, and it's a decent, good quality editor. Now, the thing about ScreenFlow is that it is capture software and an editor combined, so it's pretty good at both, but not great at either. But you can take your Xbox 360 footage And if you click the add media button, you can add the movies right in. So it'll still edit them. All About Penguins asks, have you ever made your own thumbnails for your videos? If you had, what was the best and the worst? Well, I've always made my own thumbnails. I mean, other than, I guess, like Hexit and Crazy Craft and Survival. Those ones are made by the artist, and all I do is change the number on them. But I mean, you know, the Things Lab one, he does the characters, or he's done the characters, and I place them and put things in their hands and things like that and change the background. But I mean, gosh, I would have to say some of my worst thumbnails were my first, my Club Penguin ones, things like that. Not so great. Cartoony Dave says, think if you could see the future, would you have finished school? Absolutely. I think I've always said that school is really, really important, and not just finishing high school. I really think college is important. You may not, and I did not learn this direct skills like, oh, I'm doing this because I remember I learned this on that day in college. It didn't teach me specific skills that I use today, but it taught me how to learn. And it taught me how to solve problems and more advanced problems. And yeah, I definitely would still have finished school in the same way that I did. Does Zero Boss 0x asks, how do you organize all the videos into those lists and show it on your channel page? Those are just playlists. You can, if you have a YouTube channel, you can go ahead and go into your video manager, set up the playlists and add the videos to your playlist, and then edit your channel area on the front page, and then add those playlists. Nick Play Minecraft and Xbox says, think my dog isn't eating sometimes and I'm scared. What should I do? Honestly, the minute that Kopi stops eating, we take her to the vet right away. She's always Hungry. I don't really want to say it that loud because she'll come over and think she's going to get to eat. But yeah, if she doesn't eat, we think something's probably wrong with her. And we take her to the vet right away because she loves to eat so much and she never stops. So if your dog is usually always Hungry, I would say take them into the vet. Irina Voiku asks, could you from now on say, oh my noodle, instead of saying, oh my goodness, please? Or OMG. That'd be really hard for me. I think I've done a pretty good job of cutting out even saying, oh my God, because people don't like that. I mean, I say that in normal speech, you know, with other people here, but when I'm on camera and I'm on my microphone, I always try my best, and I'm pretty good at it unless something really frightens me, saying, oh my goodness, instead of the alternative that gets people in trouble with their parents if they're religious. Neth110 asks, hey, Think, what's your username for Spore? I want to search for your creations on the Spore website, but I don't know what your username is. I think it's Real Think Noodles. Pretty sure, actually. Yeah. I know that my Origin account is like Think Noodles, like NEW, because like Think_Noodles was taken, Think Noodles was taken, Real Think Noodles was taken from Origin, but for Spore, it was Real Think Noodles. Aiden Kenny asks, hey, Justin, who does the voice of Chuck? Chuck does the voice of Chuck. That's built into OrSpawn. When you have a bro, that's the voice that it uses. And it's just like the girlfriend one. If you have a girlfriend, the girl talks randomly. If you're standing around, they'll say they're bored, whatever. That's just built into the game. JADZZY3 asks, hey, Think, have you ever accidentally named a minion the same name twice? Nope, I keep a list, a constantly updated list of all the minions that I've named in alphabetical order, so that never happens. Derpy Castaway says, do you do the music after the battle is won in your Pixelmon series, or is it automated? No, that's all editing. If you've played Pixelmon, you know that most of Pixelmon, other than the sounds that they make, you know, for their name, like Cottony, and the battles themselves are silent, and I put all that music in there when you're in the Poke Center, or during the battle, or when you win, or when you level up, or when you're evolving. All of those are inserted in editing, and it takes me a long time. Kelly Kawaii asks, in the Thinks Lab episode, defending the lab, you entered the truck outside of the lab. Was the noodle soup always in there? Yes. If you look far back, I've been in there before and taken some of the pants or the armor, leather armor off the wall, and I think you could probably see the noodle soup in there as well. Bradley1345 asks, what Minecraft servers do you play on since the core is being closed? I don't play on a lot of servers, but I'll play on anything. It really doesn't matter. Just whatever. Hive, Mineplex, Hypixel, the bigger ones. Kelly Kawaii asks, in Crazy Craft, who do you think follows you better? Is it Chuck or Toothless? They're both really terrible at it. I guess Toothless is better at it because when I fly, he'll follow for the most part unless he gets stuck on something. And Chuck, if you're flying along and you don't touch the ground occasionally, he won't follow you anymore. Natalie Gonsalves asks, hi, do you play your wife's character and use her voice, or does she do it? Well, I mean, it depends. In the Noodle Planet episode she was in, she controlled her character and had her own mic. But for the recent Thinks Lab she was in, I had written the script up for her to say in response to what I thought I was going to say when I played it, and had her do the lines, and she was at work on Saturday. So I used an NPC to have her follow me, and then inserted the lines when I said things. The next couple of people ask about the flu shot Thinks Lab and whether I was really sick. A lot of people asked that, and no, I really wasn't. I just tried my best to sound sick and just not very happy, and just played the Thinks Lab. And then when I got better, I changed my voice and I got happier, and I just tried to focus on not letting any air in or out of my nose while I spoke. So it sort of sounded like I was stuffed up. Miss Cookie MC asks, hey, my question is why? Because that's probably the best answer to that, right? Yeah. Real Kopi Noodle said, Dad, I ate the fridge, literally. She never chews furniture. Oh my, ugh. Silly dog. All right, guys, that's it for this episode of Ask Think. Don't forget to leave your question in the comments below so I can have something to answer next week. I'll see you guys again soon. Thanks for watching, and of course, noodle on!